I'm really honored to have with me anthropologist, cultural journalist, ethnomusicologist, Francois Bingono Bingono. You are welcome.
Thank you. I heard you talking of mother tongues.
Yes.
When you give a glance through ethno-linguistics, the word music does not exist in African modern languages.
Okay.
Because music means the combination of three things that are song, dance, and poetry. We will never separate them. Then when you say music in Africa, it is a matter of communication. It is a full communication. And this is a culture where we will say the dead are never dead. What do you do to talk to your ancestors, to talk to the spirit, to talk to God Almighty? It is through music, which means through song, dance, and poetry.
You have started it so beautifully, and I do agree, because once you refer to music as history and poetry.
Yeah.
Because
history, poetry, and dance.
Yeah.
Because dance is a matter of communicating with the audience.
Yes.
There are people that will never talk. They will just dance, and you understand what they want to.
Exactly, that's true. Let's go back into the history of our Cameroonian music. What is it that this generation doesn't know about how music was done in the past?
We are very sorry that the young generation will never study their mother tongues. That is the first point. They will never study their traditional rhythm. They are turned abroad. They want to practice what is coming from abroad, which is very bad. Because the world is being built through the diversity of cultures. If you abandon your culture, you will never take part to the world that is a daily build, a daily building. The world is being building every day, and we want it to be built through the differences of the cultures. Then the young generation, they need to go back to their culture, study first their mother tongues, and now their traditional music.
Okay, I remember
you don't need to go to school to study that. Just go back home and take part to any cultural events.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where you get to meet people, ask questions, learn more, and connect with your roots.
Of course.
Now, I remember some decades back, you did work with a German exchange academic, if I'm pronouncing his name right, Joachim Elsner, to compile a sizable Cameroon music archive. Why was this of interest to you?
Let Elsner soul rest in perfect peace, because he died some months ago. The question was to let our music be turned, how do you say, not digital. How do you say it? You know, we have been producing our music through what we were calling cassette.
Yes.
And before the cassette, we had vinyls. Those great records. Then it was a matter of transferring every music that has been produced in Cameroon on your technology,
CDs?
the technology, not only CDs, the technology you're using now.
Okay. The digital space.
Digital space, yes. It was a matter of translating every music we have produced since the 60s, not the 60s, the 50s, to translate everything in digital. That was the work we did with Elsner. Because now, if you have only those great records, you cannot play this music again because you don't have the set that will read it. Then it was a matter of translating all what we have produced since the 60s, since the 50s, to translate it in digital.
That exposed you to a wide range of songs from the 60s till date.
Yeah.
Now, what is it about our culture we are losing? For example, we just played a Makossa song, and then we usually try to play traditional songs, but it is not popular today. What is it that our generation hasn't understood about holding on to what is ours?
There is a Cameroonian law from the Minister of Culture. It was Minister of Information and Culture. This law was that in all Cameroonian medias, we need to play 80% of Cameroonian music and only 20% of African music and all other foreign music. Mm-hmm. But now I have the impression that you, the new generation, you have reversed everything. Instead of playing 80% of Cameroonian music, you are playing just 10% of this Cameroonian music. We need to go and respect this law. What gives the impression that Cameroonian music is not being produced? It is the matter of reversing this law. We are happy to play those music that are coming from the West Africa, mm-hmm. that are coming from the United States. No, we need to first play our music. Let's take somebody like Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. Michael Jackson has become popular through his own country. We should not wait that the others praise what we are producing as music.
We should start by praising it ourselves.
We must praise our music by ourselves. And it is a matter of letting the young generation that are working with the medias to praise what we are producing. Mm-hmm. That is the first point. The second point is that if we don't play our traditional music, Cameroon traditional music, it is something which put me in a deep sorrow. A deep sorrow. This is the backbone of our music. If we want Cameroonian music not fall, we need to produce it according to our tradition. Do you go back home and listen to what our ancestors has created as music? Do you master our home languages? Do you dance our rhythm, our traditional rhythm? Then the real school, as far as music is concerned, is to go back home. We need to go back home. This is where our cultural music is still produced. Don't listen only to the medias. The media are just the final place you can listen to music, mm-hmm. but it is not the place where the music is being produced.
Where is such a place, for example, that we can go back to listen to authentic music?
Every Cameroonian has a home, a village. We need to go back home. To go back home. To take part to traditional and cultural events. This is where you will meet, you will get in contact with our traditional music, which is the backbone of our variety. You talked of Makossa. Makossa did not take birth through the media. No. You went to the Sawa ladies. This is where the Makossa has been produced. If you talk of Bikutsi,
yes,
the Bikutsi music is created by the women. Because in the past, it was forbidden to men to sing and to dance. Men were not supposed to sing and dance. Only women were allowed to create songs and to dance. They were allowed to dance. Men had as role to play the instruments.
Yes.
It is gradually that is admitted that men could sing and dance. And even now, when a man sings so well, they will say he's singing like
a woman.
When a man dances too well, they will say he dances like
a woman.
Like a woman.
Yes.
Then we need to go back home. We need to go back home, get in contact with the women, because they are the one producing songs and dances.
Okay. Now, what will be your word to the artists of today, like the singers? Are you appreciative of the work they are doing, and what is your advice?
I'm appreciating, but I'm afraid that when our generation will have run away because we did not come to the earth to stay, I'm afraid that when the old generation will fly away, the younger generation will have no Cameroonian music to present to the public, to present to the audience. Then I will ask firmly to the younger generation to listen to the ancient generation.
Yes.
And mostly to go back home. To go back home, because if we want to preserve Cameroonian identity, cultural identity, it is not by staying in the cities, it is by going back home. I was very pleased to hear you talking of the importance of mother tongues.
Yes.
If we forget about our mother tongues, our culture will die. Then where do we produce our Cameroonian culture? It is not in the cities, but in the villages.
Okay.
I will ask them to go back home and try to listen to what our ancestors has produced as culture, and mostly music, because I said that music is a full communication, and we are still in Africa in a context of culture. When we are facing problems, we need to go back, we need to connect with the ancestors. How do we connect with the ancestors? It is through music.
Thank you so much. We've learned so much from you. One of the things I've held close to me is go back to the roots. That's where you get the stories. That's where you get the lyrics of your songs. That's where you get the beats. That's where you get the flow and connect with people once more. This goes to the artists. This goes to the public. This also goes to the media. So thank you again for passing by.
Thank you very much to put it in good English.